Okay. Going to share screen. The hide me. ไม่จะสุดเดียเนาะเอาไว้ยังมีทุกคันอยู่
Me.
ยังมีแต่ปลาเนี่ย I can script ปลา
Not yet.
I'm not yet. I'm going to turn it off again. Um, 太急了。I am hard to body bloody I don't plan on me. I don't know why. So intellectual humility is what we were talking last week, and I didn't get to show the slideshow, so I'm going to do that now. And thank you for doing a great job on your what you have learned, the 10 things from there here. So basically what it means is intellectual humility is we recognize that we don't know everything. But tulula but the thing at kelava. Or but hate mutula da kaya ba kaya gama da kaya di lo kopula panada kakahuba. We don't just say this is black or this is white or this is what I think is the truth because of our bias, because of how our presupposition. But we say that because we are truly convinced. So intellectual humility basically means we recognize that we are not perfect thinker. So we recognize we don't know everything. There are a lot that you don't know. And I gave example on the opposite of intellectual arrogance. The opposite of intellectual humility is intellectual arrogance. Dala todala tado. Tatiana pura tila akira soladani mitala pat tagapolo but Tiana dinaki papa tagapolo no. He dola Christopher Columbus awe tini ko America le tini pa Turtuglupo no. He encountered First Nation people in the United States and he thought they are naive, they don't know anything, they are too kind, they um, they don't say no according to him, and that's why he thought or he took that as opportunity to keep them as slaves to the um, monarchy in England, and so and then he based his belief in the Bible, and he was using a lot of religious words saying that kasaya hipwata manala patir paine pagani bata tutatot tu say da awadir panik kera paguna akora away ni mitar khala apa plato dala na da khodala the sumo ni dala power the sumo da bata thosa da khodala ma me akora away ni mita the color here too the per mi ora da sumo di arrogance ne per signora lulut theva ma per signora babat theva kopula po kunu ne awe ta blue berg we la pata ti da we pata na para wa u yina per ye si ye client ma me ahora awe ni ta the color pe yero papa tu pata ne intellectual humility. So this is what you did already. So I have I'm going to mark you later. I'm going to give you marks. You did very well already. And so this is it. And going to do week 7 now. Am I still showing the right
Yeah.
Tama ya?
I can see the week 6 one
Oh, you
still.
can see weeks. Say that to me. Seven. Apply the triple to do the apply.
Me.
So research methodology week 7 is intellectual courage. That the new year malo bakara that to do that do na. Ahora speak up and challenge your own beliefs and popular beliefs na. Akini odopa ora tanat pa tar pa aga na we ku ni na po akina. Ta khai yin na lai no si ka ku yin na. To ta tan na khane ni pe ti kwa pe hiro ta ti kwa la patan na bam nu ku pan na di ile na. Bam nu ku pa aga di ku yin na di ile. Awe ni pe da ki da ro pa ma. So for this particular topic, we are ready to speak up for what we think is right, even if it's not popular with our friends or people around us. We have the courage to speak up, although we know that this is probably people won't believe that, or people don't agree with us. We still have the courage to say what we believe and use our best thinking to figure out when it makes sense to speak up and when you should just keep your thoughts to yourself. So this is discerning when to speak and when not to speak. And when you do speak, try always to show respect for others, but don't ever be afraid to disagree in the privacy of your own mind. And don't be afraid to question your beliefs to figure out what makes best sense. Develop the courage to look inside your own mind and figure out what is really going on in there. Even if you have held a belief for a long time, you still need to be willing to question it, to use the tools of critical thinking to recheck it. So the opposite of intellectual courage is intellectual cowardice. The opposite of intellectual courage is the fear of ideas that are contrary to one's own. Babayula tepa thoda bata tila jada yimitera ni yera lan ko huya la yera lan thoda ira tila ada ki po umu ne po umu di ne nakini pala odo tatudu taduna la takuti de pani awe aksata tidile a idea dile ata pata dile ni mike na kitala para paga mi tulo dale ni dale yana ni hesa tutu adori ta la lisochi pune sodani la ni atoko putha ni pa ala balo kelala awe ti thani hesa tutu la tala na wala ma kabalo la mi upula na ke awe ti hesa tutu la ahone tatu khai ala takwa buzira ke page sathala dala panna ke tamita tomo mi to get ala pa aga tulo pa aga ni huta pla popular la dala gana ke weni pa esa to do la dala petila amba. They feel personally threatened by the ideas and that significantly conflict with their own personal identity. Idea la agama batu dala pamitani pablira pabayura pate ero tulo ba pate ero na huba pate ero kana ba dala thoda pa dala ke sato ka dara pa kai ni pabli ero kana ba ni. They are unwilling to examine their belief systems, an indication that their beliefs may not be fully justified. Each of the following or its opposite is sacred in the minds of some people. Adona mineke panyon na dile nage conservative ni nala atanu napa bakala mo pa people pa khitse believing liberal views atana pa tabli arse believing God nagasaywa disbelieving God nagasaywa ba wala nagasaywa wala ke atheist na wala na capitalism wala na socialism wala na abortion wala na abortion wala na capital punishment wala na la watine ba wala makamaragane ka batam sinyo theolora wala na makamana kita lupa dasnya siba no tiri ni ake opposite lo tito da not same aku ran mike ba pu conservative ni pala ake liberal na mike ba pu pala if you are a conservative and you have all your whole life you believe in conservative views conservative ideas when you heard about a liberal view will that threaten you will that make you feel uncomfortable and if you are someone who believes in God if you heard a story about an atheist or somebody who does not believe in God does that bother you does that threaten you in any way does that challenge you in any way and if you believe in capitalism does socialism scares you if you are a socialism does capitalism threaten you in any way in your what you believe? So if you believe in abortion, does people who don't believe in abortion become your enemy because they don't believe in the same thing? This is contrary views that we ponder on, we discern, and intellectual courage means you stand up to what you believe and say that question your own belief and not threatened by the opposite view. So think for yourself. Select one group you belong and complete the following statements. Who tell about a pool and a bad trade or no ma exercise for kind. One main belief common to members of this group that might be questioned is what the pool is tanna that's tanna yorotati kwala pakoni mimeda. Here you want to identify at least one belief that you may lead group members to behave irrationally. This belief might be questioned because I would or would not be able to stand up to my group pointing out the problems with this belief because. So you gave a reason why. And so this is this is just maybe a few sentences exercise for intellectual courage. And so I would like to review MLA style. And then we're going to pada MLA style sepo vibarane pagalela quiz lana. Until yeah, hi. Did you see?
Introduction.
Yes. Name. Ahora European MLA na podo dulina ki European sepo di imo. Works cited now with the Thule works cited na the Thule reference the bibliography diba. Ako kay author ni Blakemore comma space Robbie G period. Pami wini period na pami author mi katani period. Author middle name ni hiwet plana. And then history of interior design and furniture from ancient Egypt to 19th century Europe. Takha akira li mi konin mama italic kelolana. Italic sara page laying. and then J. Wheeler and Sons, and then the year come at the end, 2006. And building permit. Qua quên lì bà, đâm hình lì bà, con này building permit này, kia ta qua hệ quê là qua cái tu ta tu thôi na, con này ola quotation mà, the broad economy hila, ta ghi ta có cút đo pun này kia, ta phải cút đo lì cút đo này kia mà quotation mà, we was City of Vancouver, what is the our here là www.vancouver.ca/home dash property dash development slash building dash permit dot aspx period full stop. When it adoki karaka adotha karakane our author me Cripsey Bernie full stop Darwin and your brain away ne awara akutona da kuto hun hiwela quotation through a hiwela liar ne fakit a Vancouver Evolution Festival again Lia magazine at Kakala again lecture la we hiwema hone awe hinuela akutopi Simon Fraser University and University of British Columbia, and then the date and then the place Simon Fraser University Vancouver lecture again lecture ahora paying tila year. The year and the date is put here. And so when it comes to lecture, it's a slightly different. And then you have fundamentals of health information management. Away la gelli magazine matata kakala adola la italic or Canadian Health Care Association. Away ni batiti again. Pador pudor grata ma kone at panu author amiga. Ako author to ultaminya no. Ako away agera that a color lady Carlos how to say bula author PE originals how non-conformists move the world. Takaili Kuto Penguin Books 2016. And then now we trace it from somewhere. That's why we have to put the whole thing here. Akone behini trace la dakai kela hope copy paste lo a link dot kana. Akone bedela nini ka ba ola kiketelo na gini nini the away in the location the publishing date the location apala lo ki pe na ke le ini me link ne ka ola lo ki ishomo na tho na tu phle khala.
I use APA.
I use APA. So when you go to APA, it will be very easy for you then. Maybe I'll ask you to do a lecture on APA, American Psychology Association, right?
Yeah, I feel that I'm not very good at referencing.
Right,
I
right.
always get something.
APA in yala you wanna get in your wanna you show more APA in your baki yitradram dononori with the Taiwela Chicago style. No MLA for Bathulama. Let me think I can't if you know more styles, the better you will be familiar with. But what I found from my own studies is that when I like one of my professors won MLA, and so I was like, oh, I'm not going to. This is a new different style. But then when I actually did it, it got easier because you know that the author surname comes first, and then author first name, and then middle name, and then name of the books, and then publisher. And usually books are easier to me. But then I found that as you practice more, it will be easier. Hold on. Away MLA style. They are the same body now. Wish more. I will become a quiz log with your big recording.